Hey everyone, I'm Joe. As it is the start of a new year, I think it's about time that I reflect back on 2019 and make some goals and plans for 2020. So, 2019 was not an easy year for many, politically and personally. Various unpleasant things went on around the world which are well publicised. Obviously within the UK there was issues there, but that's a whole different subject. As far as my reading year is concerned, however, my year went extremely well indeed. I read 133 books in total, which I'm really pleased with. This is slightly less than 2018, although, as I've said before, it is quality over quantity, of course. Although, obviously, if I can achieve quantity and quality, then much the better. The quality of those 133 books was really impressive overall. I enjoyed a very large proportion of them. There were only one or two books here or there that were complete and utter failures, frankly, that I thought were pretty terrible on a personal level, of course. Other people may well enjoy those particular books. And I'm very happy with my reading amount and quality overall. Now, my second goal that I failed at pretty badly was my gender diversity, specifically in regards to the gender of the authors that I read over the year. And this is actually due to a very simple fact, and that is I was trying to read and reduce my unread books that I have on the shelf behind me. And many of those books that I have are by male authors. Over the years I've gained a lot of books by male authors that I haven't got around to reading. And at the moment I'm on a drive to try and reduce those unread books. So the fact that I read 75% male authors and only 25% female, pretty much, give or take a few percent here or there, is not surprising. And I'm not all that bothered by it, because reducing my unread books is more important to me at this exact moment than trying to keep up a nice even 50-50 male to female split, which is what I actually managed to achieve in 2018. Although if I can get a bit closer to that in 2020, I'll be happy. Onto a more positive goal, and that was my book buying. I bought far fewer books in 2019 than I did in any previous year before it. I only bought a mere 41 books, which is really, really low for me. And as far as cost goes as well, I only spent a third of the money that I did in 2018. And one of my goals was to spend no more than £750 on books, because in 2018 I spent nearly £1,000 on books. So I was trying to reduce it by a quarter. Actually, I've reduced it by a lot more than a quarter, as I've actually spent only just over £260 in total, which is massively breaking my goal by nearly a third of what it actually was. So I'm really happy with how much I've managed to achieve with my book buying and how much I've managed to reduce it by, because I'm quite proud of it. The other thing that I managed to achieve in 2019 was my second major booktube of travel. This is obviously, if you hadn't watched my previous videos, when I went to the Worldcon in Dublin, Ireland. I hung out with a bunch of booktubers for a week. We saw the Yu-Gi-Oh! Boards live, we went to bookshops and yarn shops and various other places, and had a really nice week, and I loved that week beyond words. It was my highlight of the year, bar none, frankly. I will be doing something similar in 2020, although I'll talk about that in a moment. But yes, I am very happy that I've managed to travel again because of booktube. I'm very grateful for that as well. And finally, the last goal that I set myself, I completely failed with, mainly because I forgot that I actually set this goal at all, and that was to read more Shakespeare. Shakespeare references, and obviously the idea of what Shakespeare is, comes into many other forms of media, movies and music, and obviously books. I would like to understand these references as and when I see them, because at the moment I'm obviously missing these references. However, I completely forgot, frankly, that I'd set myself this goal until the very end of the year, and by that point I was like, whatever, I'm not that bothered, frankly. I was more interested in reading my unread books, as I've said, so this was a goal that I set myself sort of a spur of the moment, almost at the start of the year, and the fact I failed it was not a major thing. I would still like to achieve it, but I'm not setting it as a goal again. It's just like, as and when I get around to reading more Shakespeare, so much the better. So now I'll talk about my goals for 2020. And the first of these that I'm not doing, because I know that I will not be able to actually achieve it, is my gender diversity with authors again. Because my second goal that I am officially doing in 2020 is reducing my unread books on my shelf. This is something I achieved, obviously, as I said, but I didn't make an official goal of it. This time it is going to be an official goal. However, I know, for the reasons I've stated, that gender diversity will not be achievable because I've got still a lot more books by male authors than female. My unread books are quite high still. I'd like to reduce that to almost half. I currently have around 110, 120 unread books. I would like to half of that, frankly. And I'm going to buy less books in 2020, which is my other goal. I want to maintain my low book buying habits from 2019. So I won't be able to buy books. Although the books I buy, I will try to focus on female authors where I can. But it depends on what books I see and what books I want to read at that moment. Yeah, I don't plan my book buying out. So we'll see. But overall, it should be an interesting year in that regard. The other goal relating to actual numbers is I want to maintain the amount of books that I read in 2020. As I said, 133 books in 2019. I'd like to get the same amount read in 2020. Ideally, if I can read a lot more than that, I would be happier, but quality over quantity. But still, if I can achieve both quantity and quantity, I would be much, much happier overall. So we'll see what I can manage there. I'm not doing any particular number on that, however. My other goal, as I've alluded to previously, is BookTube travel. And this time I am going to be travelling to the New Zealand Worldcon in July and August. Now, this is quite a big thing for me, not just because of the fact that New Zealand is on the exact opposite side of the planet from where I live in the UK. So this is literally as far as anybody can really travel in one visit. It is also a major thing on a personal level because my only anxiety as such is travelling to places that I do not know and I'm unfamiliar with by myself for the first time. New Zealand is as far as I can go by myself for the first time, and I am doing it alone, although I will be meeting that same group of booktubers at the other end. So that makes it all worthwhile, and seeing those booktubers is what drives me and what makes that anxiety over the travel side of it manageable, because without it I wouldn't do it. So this is something I'm very happy with and very pleased that I've got those booktubers there as a kind of a support system for me personally. And the last few goals are actually personal goals, there aren't that many bookish ones, and those are, I want to be more focused with my goals and with my personal life. I can't say too much because I'm always wary what I say about my personal life on my booktube channel, but I want to be more focused and I want to be more determined and to push myself far more than I have in the past, because I am well aware that for many years now I've been relatively coasting along, not pushing myself as hard as what I could do and actually taking the fairly easy route in many cases, which is something I'm okay with at the time, but I've got to a point where I don't want that to continue anymore. So I'm going to push myself a lot harder to achieve certain personal goals and certain personal things that I want, which I will be very hard for me to do. In some cases really horribly hard and quite painful, but I am going to achieve them because I've got to that point where I'm just kind of annoyed at myself now for putting off certain things. So I've had enough of my own stupidity in this particular regard. I've put off things too long. I'm now going to get them done. And I'm quite happy with the way that I'm going to push forward, because I will achieve these goals without fail. Because I'm the sort of person that when I say a goal out loud to other people, I dislike failure at all. I do not usually fail. So, and I don't plan to this time. I will achieve what I set out to achieve. And the last goal that I want to do is a fairly small goal, I suppose, in some ways, and it's just to be in better physical shape than I am now. I am extremely healthy, and if you were to look at one of those body mass index graphs, my weight is exactly average for my height. But I would like to be just a bit better physical shape overall, though, you know, a bit stronger, a bit more agile, have better endurance, and just be able to do physically more than I do now, because whilst there's nothing wrong with my physical condition now, I'd like to be better than it is now, a more improved version of me. So that is something that I'm going to work on. Indeed, I've already started working on it, and hopefully I will be able to feel some noticeable results by the end of 2020. Anyway, that is it for this video, and indeed all my reflections back and plans for 2020. Please let me know how your 2019 went, and if you have any interesting goals for 2020, please let me know what they were, or if you've done a video about it. If you are a booktuber, then, you know, feel free to link that, although YouTube may block the video, but I will unblock it. Anyway, all my social media links can be found in the description box below. With that said, that is it for this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.